Hey everyone, Jereshia Hawk here, your favorite millennial mentor and founder of the Goal Getter Group. I'm so excited to be chatting with you all tonight about one of my favorite Hawk Hustle habits. Is really all about your money mindset. And really, what are the prices of your products and your services saying about you and your brand and business? We're going to be talking about that today. So I'm super pumped. I think this is something that took me a while to really understand and learn within my own business, about really what my prices of my products should be and how others were responding to the prices and why I was getting the results within my business that I was getting. So I think this is something that all of us can relate to regardless of what stage we're at in business, what stage we're at within growing, if we're brand new, or if we're just, or if we've been in business for 2 or 3 years and we're really trying to reevaluate that. So that's really what I want to dive into. There was an article not too long ago that came out by Inc. magazine, and Gary Vaynerchuk and a couple other guest experts were featured, and they were talking a lot about your prices and what are you charging and what does your price point say about you, especially if you're a new business and you're coming out with that very first price point. What does that initial price say about you? And that really got me thinking, because I think back at when I started my business, the Goal Getter Group, I really wanted the business to be a nonprofit. I wanted to not charge for my services. I was going to call the transaction proud to payments, and I was going to let people pay me what they thought my service was worth or what they could afford. And I wanted it to be this nonprofit and just be this all service business where I just give and share. And I didn't want to have prices, because I'm like, what if somebody can't afford to work with me? I don't want to not work with them just because they can't afford to work with me. And this was my thought process, and that quickly changed, because that's just not sustainable, first and foremost. And having a business model that you aren't able to sustain, or that really isn't necessarily generating income, because I could just work with a bunch of clients who don't pay, right? Based off of that model, I knew I had to do something different. And I knew that at that point, I really needed to shift my mindset about what money was and the way I looked at money, and why did I feel bad about charging for my products or charging for my services. And I realized, as through learning and working with a coach and like chatting with mentors and things like that, I really discovered that all money is just a resource. It is a tool that gives you access to different opportunities. That's really all money is. It's just it's a way for you to exchange value for a product or service or whatever else you're getting on the other side. That's all money is. And I think we put this big, or there is. I was working from a lower level of money mindset back then, because I didn't even want to charge for what I was doing. I'm like, I just want to give it away. Or sometimes I feel like, because I love what I'm doing so much, I do it for free. I think, but we need to realize that just means that's your passion and your purpose. But you still need to charge for it, because you're exchanging value. You're providing a service or a product that's solving somebody's problem. And the more valuable or urgent their problem is, and the better the solution that you provide is, the more you can charge for it, because money is just a way for you, it's just a way for you to exchange value for a product or service. So I want to talk about some more tactical things that we can start thinking through when we're thinking about our prices, and how we can all start elevating our mindset as well. So really, first and foremost, is what is your story? And the price you charge tells a story about you and your business. And I look back at my story then. What was my story? I wanted to have this nonprofit. I wanted to give away my services because I really loved what I was doing. I work a full-time job. I'm a pipeline engineer, so I really don't need the money. I just want to give. And you have to start, I was thinking about that from my perspective, from this very like servant leadership standpoint and philosophy, but you also need to look at it from the other standpoint. If a customer comes up to me and says like, Jay, I want to hire you for business coaching or life coaching or whatever, and I say, oh, I don't have prices, you can just pay me whatever you want. How is that perception going to be on the other end? Like, what story is that telling the other person. Like, imagine if you walked up to Mercedes, or like you walked into a Bentley dealership and you said you wanted to buy a car and they said you can just pay us whatever you want for it. You're not going to really, like, let's be real, you're not going to really think that that product is that high value or it's that high quality, or you may not even take it seriously, because it's like, they don't just give this stuff away. Is it even good then? And I think in Western culture, we put a lot of value on higher price point items a lot of time. Like, you think about Louis Vuitton or Chanel bags or Birkin bags, or like red bottom heels. Like, women will save up for months, spend their rent checks just to have that exclusive product. You think about Apple, they're able to sell their products way above market value. Even when they're not always the best product on the market, they don't have the best technology on the market, but their brand, it's the way they've built their brand and the way they've crafted and shared their story with our audience. So I hope that's connecting, but really start thinking about, within your business, what is your story and what story are you telling? What are your prices saying about your brand and about your business? Is your story helping your business grow? Really start thinking about those questions, and start looking at your price points in that regard. And I think that I also want to point out the fact that I don't think there's a right or wrong, right? I don't necessarily think that whether your business model is set up where you're working more like Walmart, where you're selling really, really high volume, but you're selling at a very, very low price point, or if you're the other end of the spectrum where you're like Mercedes. I keep referencing Mercedes because I love Mercedes-Benz, but maybe you're Mercedes or more of a higher luxury end brand, where you never offer discounts, you sell at a higher price point, but you're selling a smaller volume. So regardless of what your business model is or what works best for you, I think that you need to also be intentional on deciding which one do you want, right? Which one do you want? Which one best serves your needs, and which one really helps you achieve the level of success, or the goals in which you have set out for your business? So really, what is your story, and what are your prices saying about your business? Okay. Also, think about what you're offering as well. And I think this is, again, another mindset shift that happened for me, especially from a monetary standpoint, is what are you offering? And if you're offering a service that, like for me, I offer business coaching and business mentoring. I help women who work a 9-to-5 build a business on the side, whether they want to start their business or grow their business. I offer a VIP business coaching, right? And before, I'm just being completely transparent. When I first started off, my prices were like crazy, ridiculously low. I think it's just the engineer in me. I'm like, I need data. I need to validate that this product works and that it sells and that it's actually going to have an impact, and I needed all this validation. But now I look at my business coaching, you realize that, Jay, what are you offering? It's not that you're just exchanging this one-time service, this one and done thing, but you're going to be able to teach somebody strategies and processes and showing them how to implement systems that are going to help them make money long after you're gone, right? They're going to be able to build on the strategies you teach them, so they're making money tripling their income a month from now, a year from now, 5 years from now. And you need to start thinking about incorporating that return on their investment in your price point. So as you guys are thinking about the services or the products you provide, really, what value are you adding to the customer who purchases it from you? Really, what is the true return on their investment for investing in you and hiring you and selecting you? And that needs to be thought through as you're developing the prices for your products. Like, I hope that makes sense. That was a huge game changer for me when I realized, like, really, what was I offering and what was I giving through the education I had and through the experiences I had and all of that I was not factoring into my price point. And if you realize that, the story you're telling now or the prices that you have now are not helping you, change your story. Like, that new story helped me take myself more seriously. when I started realizing the return on the investment and the real value that I was offering and why I was different than everybody else out there on the market, when I changed my story, that helps me take myself more seriously, and that also increased my confidence in what I was providing and what I was offering. Because if you can't be confident about what to charge if you're not confident about the story you're telling. I'm going to say that one more time. You cannot be confident about what you charge if you are not confident about the story you're telling. Because if you don't believe it, why in the world is the person you're trying to sell to, why are they going to believe it if you don't believe it in yourself too? So you have to start shifting your mindset to really help you grow your confidence, as well as communicate that value that you're offering to a potential client or customer. So you don't have to reinvent a story or make up a fake story. You know, that's not what I'm trying to preach or convey at all either. But you need to start living your story and including that in every price within your business. Okay, guys? I want us to just let that sink in for a second while I take a sip, last little sip of my juice. So I'm going to give you guys some questions to think about as you're processing this. Really, what are the 3 words that you want people to think when they think of your business? You know, do you want to be the business that is affordable? Do you want to be the business that's luxury? Do you want to be the business that's for savvy business owners? Or, you know, really, how do you want people to identify and connect with your business? And if you need assistance with this, we do have I think this goes back to your branding and just how your overall message and how you're communicating your overall brand to the public. We just did a masterclass back in November with Nicole Ellis called Branding Bootcamp within our membership group. And she does, you know, I love the process that she took the goal getters through, but it's so important for you to understand your brand and how you're communicating that out. So make sure, just start thinking about that. What are some words that you want people to think about when they think of you and think of your business? What does your brand identify? What does it stand for? Like Apple is all about being innovative. You know, just start thinking about that and start identifying. You can like Google, check out what other companies out there, how they identify and brand themselves. That might help you if you're in the beginning stages, or maybe you're trying to revamp and you're trying to just get some things to help spark some ideas and get your wheels turning. Second question is, what change does your product help people create? And I know we talked about this, but what are the ultimate results of your offer? Because if you are able to provide, you know, a premium service that has a lot of value in regards to you're teaching somebody else how to make money, you need to be, I would highly suggest your price point reflects that return on their investment from that standpoint, okay? So really understand and get crystal clear on what change does your product help people create? What is the transformation that you're providing through your product or through your service? And thirdly is, how do you want people to relate to your business and to you? Do you want people to view you? And there's no right or wrong reason. I think that we just need to be intentional on the choices that we're making so we have full control, because we're making solid decisions. So how do you want people to relate to your business and to you? Like, I love Target. I feel like they're starting to sleep up on their prices, but I feel like they're affordable, they're fashionable, it's cute, it's like, you know, I love Target. Then it's not the most expensive place, but then I also really identify with, like, I look at Mercedes-Benz as like this luxury exclusive brand. And you can see there's 2 complete differences there. I feel like Target, everybody has access to, but that's why another reason why I love it, because they give you access, but it's super cute and super affordable. So think about, how do you want people to relate to your business and to your brand? And as you've processed those questions and thought through a couple of things here that we've talked about, really, if the story you want to tell is dramatically different than the one you're telling right now, it's a very strong indicator that you need to change your story, right? If the story you want to tell is completely different than the one you're telling right now, we got to start changing our story. And some real tactical ways that we can do that is by changing the language in our social media bios. Or if you have no language in your social media bio, definitely start getting that. So people, when they go to your social media pages, go to your Instagram, go to your Facebook, they can identify with something, and they start already forming perceptions, and you're helping them form the perception and the perspective that really fits the type of business that you want to become. Start changing your website copy and look at the language that you're using on your landing page, on your home page, on your sales pages, and is that language and the wording congruent with who your target audience is, and as well as with the type of brand you really want to position yourself in the market. Really the language that you even use in your posts, in the comments, in your titles. Think that through. Your words are extremely powerful, and the words that you use to whatever you communicate on behalf of your brand is sending a message to your customers. So start educating them and teaching them on how you want them to perceive you. And also in the language when you're speaking and when you're talking and how you communicate. All that stuff really matters and can really help you shape and tell the story that fits really who you want to be and how you want people to perceive and to look at you. So let's dive into really what are some factors you need to consider when you are thinking about your prices. Okay? So when you initially set your price, I don't want you to think, I think something I want us to think through, is when you initially set your price, what price are you setting it at comfortably right now? And is the reason why you haven't increased it, is that because you don't believe that your product is worth it? Or you don't believe that people will pay for you increasing your prices? Like, is there a fear there that if I increase my price, nobody's going to pay, I'm not going to get any customers, or I don't really know about what I'm putting out, I don't know if it's really worth that much. We need to start letting go of that fear and those limiting beliefs that are not serving our greater purpose. We need to elevate our money mindset in that regard. Okay, we really need to leave those negative beliefs, those untrue beliefs behind, because we need to recognize first and foremost that you are passionate and really passionate about your business anyways, right? You love what you're doing. Most of you would provide your services for free because you love what you do so much. And you know that you're creating value, that you're adding, you're making transformations for other people. You're helping make something simpler. You're solving their problems. You wouldn't offer something if you didn't believe it was valuable or would change people's lives in the first place, right? Like, we wouldn't do that. You wouldn't have started your business if you didn't believe you could change and impact somebody's life. Your price point needs to reflect that. So we need to let go of those limiting beliefs that are no longer serving us, identify that they're there, recognize that fear, but then we need to move forward. Okay? You need to move forward. And as we're thinking about what things, I think these are 4 main things that we can think through when we're thinking of how we should price our products that I know a lot of entrepreneurs do not consider. I think sometimes we put a price point on something and say, whoop, okay, that's what it is. It's great. But these 4 things you need to make sure that you're considering when you're thinking through your prices. 1, the cost of creation. And these are all the costs associated with you to create a product or a service. The labor to develop and to design it, the time you're spending, the cost of the tools and software that you use. You need to think about the cost of your MacBook, the cost of any subscription services you're subscribed to help make your products, any licensing fees, trademarks, or anything like that you had to purchase or buy to make your product. Whether if you're selling a physical product, the materials you need, the shipping costs, all of those things need to be considered. You need to know your numbers in that regard and factor that in when you're determining your prices. The second is the cost of delivery. And that means the cost it takes for you to market your brand, if you're paying for Facebook ads, the time you're spending on social media to get your brand out there, any affiliates or partnership that you may have, or you're paying somebody else a commission to promote your product, bake that in. The cost of delivery, the cost of shipping, the cost of your rent and just physical overhead. If you have a distributor or a warehouse, those costs need to be factored into your product price. Third is really that big arching overhead, those fixed expenses like hosting your website, payroll, your utilities, and really break that down and what's the overhead per unit. and the overhead per like project sale, so you understand that piece. And then finally, like your salary. I mean, not your salary, the profit. And your profit is not your labor or the salary that you pay yourself, but it's the money that's left over after. You need to account for profit beyond the labor, beyond the salary, beyond the cost of running your business. And so many people don't do that. I think sometimes we just throw out a number that we think people will be okay with, rather than really taking the time to crunch the numbers, to know our numbers, to understand that. And because that will let you know maybe the price of your product that you're creating is just way too much, and you need to reevaluate how you're going to create that product to bring down the cost and make it profitable. That can, help you realize that maybe your idea wasn't even viable in the first place. You got to know your numbers. And again, for those of you who may struggle with that, we have a bundle from December called Managing Your Money and Knowing Your Numbers. And I gave all the goal-getters, as well as LaShonda Cooley, gave a lot of phenomenal spreadsheets to help you list out all of your expenses, project your sales for the next year, help you identify, and like gives you a spreadsheet basically on how to plug in your numbers, the cost of creation, cost of delivery, cost of markup, to see what that final profit number would look like all automatically. There's like 4 or 5 spreadsheets that we give the goal-getters to help them simply walk through that and show them how to break that down, because that stuff can be kind of tricky, and I know numbers kind of scare people a little bit. But that's why we broke that down in the last month masterclass. So if you're interested in that, just shoot me a DM, and I can send you guys a link to how to join the Goal-Getter group so you can have access to that masterclass bundle, because it's so important and so vital to the sustainability of any business. So just to recap, guys, we start looking at your money mindset, really start thinking about the story you're telling based off the prices of your products. Is your story helping your business grow? Do you need to change your story to help support the direction that you want to go and grow your business? Again, you cannot be confident about what you charge if you're not confident about the story you tell. Okay? Think through some questions. What are the 3 words you want people to think about when they think about your business? What change does your product really offer? What value are you providing? What transformation are you giving through your products and services? What's their ROI? And how do you want people to relate to your business and to you? So think that through, watch the replay. And if you're interested in any of those master classes, so you can really dive deeper into the material, get the spreadsheet so you know why it's important now, but really how can you implement that for your business? Make sure you join the Goal Getter group. That was last month's master class, and you'll get all the spreadsheets there. But really start thinking about that, guys, because I see a lot of us not charging really what we should be. In my opinion, I think a lot of us are lowballing because out of fear, out of what we think other people may think of us when they see our price point, and we got to get over that. We really need to elevate our mindset and elevate the confidence that's in our story that better serves us, as well as the value that we're providing our customers, and really just who we really are as business owners and people who are out here providing high value content to really create impact and change. Okay? So if there's any questions, feel free to leave that in the comment section. I know you guys were leaving some before. I'm going to go back and answer those questions now. Let's work through that. I'm just trying to pull up your questions. Let's see. I know a few of you guys had some. Jamel, I will definitely send you the link so you can join the Goal Getter group. It is super convenient. I know Micah made the point that her audience budget is what scared her on upping her prices initially. And I think that is something we need to consider when you're building your business model, is who is your target audience? Who are you trying to serve? Because sometimes, their price point or their price range is going to vary and differ. But I want us to also think too that when we say, they're not going to pay that, that's not true. You really don't know what they're paying. It's all about how you brand and market your services and how you communicate that value. Because people, regardless if they make $1,000 a month or if they make $15,000 a month, nobody has money they want to just lose, right? They want to make sure that if they are making an investment, that it's going to have a return on they're going to have a return, and it is going to solve their problem. So I think if you work through those questions we talked about, that'll instill your confidence that regardless if you're selling to 19-year-olds who may have more of a fixed income budget, or to even younger millennials, or to people who are, in their 40s, 50s, or whatever, it's all about how you communicate that value. And I want us to think about for a second, how many women do y'all know who spend $600-700 on weave every month, knowing good and well that they live at the poverty line? So it's also about how you educate your audience and position yourself as a leader. Because if you're able to show them and communicate that value, people just don't have money to lose, but they will invest in things that they know that they'll have a return on their investment with. And you're able to identify and connect with their core values and their core beliefs. That's all I want to say. Anytime I think that somebody can afford my services, I think about how much money they spend on Beyonce tickets and new bundles every month, and that wipe out that limiting belief. Because just because you think they won't doesn't mean they won't. I think you need to start maybe reevaluating your brand and how you're communicating your value a little bit more. Micah said, I was aiming towards college girls, but then I thought, I'm a college student spending money on investing, so I know these girls exist, and that's who I want. Exactly. And I think that I love that point you just made, because if some people are not in a position, or they don't think that they want to invest in your services, like they're just probably not who your audience is. They're not your people. And I think we need to let that go. I think sometimes, at least for me, when I first started off, I was terrified to like really niche down on my market, because I was scared, like, well, what about all the other people who aren't going to like identify with my brand? What about all the other people who might not buy my services? I was trying to service everyone, and realizing that I am not able to make the impact that I want to make when I am trying to serve everybody and their mama, because and everybody isn't for me or for my business. So I needed to get over, like, again, another, hawk hustle habit that you guys need to start evaluating and elevating your mindset, and realizing that you don't need validation from everyone to know that you're making an impact and creating the value that you really desire and hope to change and create, because everybody isn't for you. So Micah, I love that point you just made. Diamond says she doesn't know what her brand is anymore. Well, we got to start working through that. And Christina said, it annoys me so much when people say my social media strategy services are too high. Yet we all know how much time and effort it takes to put into creating an effective strategy. Yes, so much time. Also can't deal when they spend money on that, yet don't want to spend to grow their business. One thing I've really learned is I think a lot of entrepreneurs, especially at this stage, miss this point, but we really need to understand the customer journey and understand where that potential customer is on that customer journey. Because I think and why it's so important for us to have those marketing strategies, social media strategies, is how are we, educating our customer once they, whether you're a very cold lead and you've never seen me before, and this may be your first time watching, or if you've been here for, you've been riding with me since I very started, you guys are at two completely different points in the customer journey, right? And I have to do a good job, and we all need to do a good job at identifying where our customer is at on that journey, and providing them education and teaching them why this is valuable to them, helping them identify whether or not our services can solve their problems, and help guide them along that journey path, to help them understand and discover who we are, to build that trust, and also to help get them to the point where they understand and feel the need that, yes, I need to invest because she can solve my problem. I think a lot of the time we don't do a good job at that, and that's where I see a lot of entrepreneurs failing. It's something even I'm really trying to work and become better at, is really understanding the customer journey and helping to create content that guides my customer or guides my audience along that journey, to help them elevate throughout my journey cycle, to help them actually convert and become paid customers. So but I think that's a really good point. Really, really good point you made, Christina. Yes, Micah, we want 10 people who are down versus 100 people who just look. It's all about profitability over popularity. I'd rather have an email list exactly of 100 people who 80% of them buy from me and like they open my emails and read my stuff and jump online versus 10,000 people and nobody shows up. They just delete my emails out of their inbox. We get so caught up in the numbers. They're like, oh, I need more subscribers. Like, no, honey. Who cares how many likes and follows you have? How much money are you making? Okay? Popularity? I'm all about profitability over popularity. So that's what I got for you guys. Start thinking that through. Really, I'm creating the Hawk Hustle bundle by the end of the month. It's going to be a 2-part package where it's going to be a 21-day program that helps you guide through the success habits that you need in your life, as well as the How She Hustles planner, which a few of you guys have already had sneak peeks at, but it's going to help you accomplish your #1 goal in the next 90 days. And it walks you through a very structured and systematic process to help you accomplish any one goal in the next 90 days. And that's going to be a 2-part package. So that's coming out at the end of the month. Like, be on the lookout for that. If you want to be, make sure that you're in the know. This is just one of the success habits and just part of one of the success habits that I'll be teaching. We're going to go through 21 success habits to really help you get on your Hawk Hustle, and really create habits that better serve who you want to become, to help you achieve the goals that you want to achieve, but that fit you and your lifestyle, right? That's the biggest thing. Is how can we adjust these habits and these success tips to help them best serve you where you're at right now and based off what your next level of success looks like in your life. So I'm so excited about that. That's coming, like I said, at the end of the month. And as well as the How She Hustles planner, which is it's like over 100 pages, but it's a 90-day process to help you achieve any one big goal in the next 90 days. So if you're not on the email list, I would highly suggest you get on or join our accountability group so you can be in the know when that happens. And you can just click the link in the description to get more info. Yay, Diamond! I'm excited. You're excited. I just know it's going to be so helpful. I know it's going to be so helpful, and it's been a game changer for me in my life. And there's success habits that I personally use, things that I've learned from my 6-7-figure mentors. That really help. Success is a habit. It's all success is. Success is a habit. It's something where we can start identifying the habits that we have right now that are no longer serving the greater purpose and the person that we want to become. And how can we really train our brain to think differently and to, remove or diminish those habits that are no longer serving us and replacing those with habits that really serve us and give us to the point where we want to go. Okay? When's the cutoff for the intern? I'm still accepting applications. I'll be accepting applications until like Saturday. Because I already have a few interviews set up. So, and I'm pumped. Mike, I'm glad that you asked. I'm going to keep it real with y'all because we cool. I have hired a few people in the past. And they were all, it just, nothing worked out. And I think I realized that I'm in a much better space now to really take on an employee. And I really want to start with an intern because as I'm building and growing my business, I want to be able to help build and grow somebody else. Like, I don't want to just hire. I think this is where I went wrong. Because I was hiring help or like people on my team just to execute tasks, which I don't think is bad either. But I realized that the type of person I am and the type of business I'm creating, it's not just about hiring somebody to go do stuff for me, but how can I pour into that individual and help them grow both personally and professionally as well. And that, I think that's where my biggest gap was and why I wasn't successful with the employees I hired last year. So I'm really trying to shift my focus on that this year. I've already bought like 4 or 5 courses that I'm going to have my intern go through so they can develop their skill set as well. And really find somebody I can teach like the behind the scenes of my business and how I'm growing my business so that can help them grow their own business too. So I'm so excited just for all the growth that's happening because it's not just I want to find somebody to like get some stuff done, which they're still going to get stuff done. But really, how can I also help them grow, help them mature, help them build their own business if that's something they're interested in, but really give them training and teaching that's going to help them really become better people. So I'm excited. I'm really pumped about that because we have some big things coming up for the Goal Getter group. And as the group is growing, I can't do it alone. I have a team, but I need somebody who's like consistently on my team to help in that growth space. So I'm really pumped. Really pumped about that. So the role I'm filling, it's not just an intern. They're director of first impressions, and they'll be responsible for all of our social media marketing or email campaigns, as well as like doing some WordPress design work. They're going to be really hands-on with the membership program. And I'm also thinking about, because we have quite a few people who applied, I might be hiring 2 people. We'll see what happens. I don't know. And if I hire the second person, they're going to be, what is the title we came up with? I think it was like something about high quality experiences, something more of like a customer care quality experience manager. So I'm pumped. I cannot wait to have a director of first impressions. So that's the main role that we're trying to fill. But that's just a little bit of background on that. I'm just really excited for where we're growing and to not only get some things done and off of my plate, but to really bring somebody on to help grow and shape and develop them too. So Micah, I'd love for you to apply. You know, you're like bomb.com. So feel free to. For now, it's going to be like a 3-month summer internship. And then based off of how that experience grows and how the individual does, then it, you know, it could extend and go on and so forth. So we're still figuring that out, but we're going to get started. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys in regards to your money mindset. What does your price say about your products? Start thinking that stuff through. If you guys have any questions, want to learn more about the Hawk Hustle and be informed on when that's coming out and being launched, just click the link in the title and join the email list and become a part of our accountability Facebook group, which is private. There's over 400 women globally in that group, and we keep each other accountable, support each other along our journeys. Or if you have any questions for me, feel free to slide in my DMs, and I will help you out. So you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Keep moving that needle, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.